This is the stop scrolling moment. I made 4 of these before I turned 30, and the worst part? I didn't even know I was doing them. I thought I was being smart, disciplined, rational, but I was quietly, systematically destroying my own potential, one mental mistake at a time. What scared me most when I finally figured it out, none of these mistakes looked like mistakes from the inside. They looked like virtues. That's why they're so dangerous, and why most people never catch them. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 mental mistakes that are costing you more than you realize, and what to do instead. Let's start with the one that wasted 3 years of my life. Mistake number 1, the preparation trap. When I was 24, I decided to launch an online business. I spent 6 months researching. I watched hundreds of hours of videos, read 14 books, built spreadsheets, designed logos. I told everyone I was working on it. My friends were impressed. My parents were proud. At the end of those 6 months, 0 customers, 0 products, 0 revenue, because I had never actually launched anything. My brain had figured out that researching a goal produced almost identical feelings of satisfaction as achieving it, without any of the risk. Every book gave a small dopamine hit. It felt like progress, but it was just motion, spinning wheels. I've talked to hundreds of people still almost ready to start the podcast or launch the business. The question I ask them now, what's the minimum viable action you could take today? Not the perfect one, the minimum one, because the research will never be complete. The timing will never be perfect. The antidote isn't recklessness, it's a simple rule. Spend 20% of your time preparing and 80% executing. Reverse that ratio and you're not thoughtful, you're hiding in plain sight. Mistake number 2, identity foreclosure. When I was 27, I met a guy at a conference, sharp, well-read, articulate. Within 10 minutes, he told me he was not a morning person, terrible at math, not into fitness, and more of a creative than a business person. He had mapped the entire territory of himself before he'd even explored most of it. I recognized him immediately because I used to do the same thing. This is identity foreclosure, adopting a firm sense of who you are without genuine exploration. I'm not a numbers person. Okay, but did you genuinely try? Or did one bad test in 9th grade close the door forever? I'm not creative. This might be the most damaging label of all. Creativity isn't a trait you're born with. It's a skill that develops through practice, exposure, and permission. Every label you pin to yourself becomes a wall, and walls, over time, start to feel like foundations. What changed this for me, I started keeping a first-time journal. Once a week, I did something I'd previously declared I wasn't capable of. About 40% of my self-assigned labels were wrong. The version of yourself you're protecting might be the exact thing standing between you and who you're actually capable of becoming. Mistake number 3, telescoping failure. In the summer of 2018, I gave a presentation that bombed. 60 professionals. I'd prepared. I was confident. 8 minutes in, I lost my thread, stumbled through the rest, and 2 people left early.
That's not what I meant
On the drive home, my brain didn't see a bad 23-minute talk. It delivered a verdict on my entire identity as a communicator. You are not someone who can do this. This is telescoping failure, taking one specific event and zooming it out until it fills your whole self-concept. A data point becomes a diagnosis. A Tuesday becomes a life sentence. Our brains do this for evolutionary reasons. When something hurts, generalize the lesson fast. But embarrassment isn't a predator. The reframe that unlocked everything? Treat failures as experiments that produce data, not events that produce verdicts. When something goes wrong, ask 3 questions. What was I trying to do? What specifically didn't work? And what would I change next time? Your failures are not your future. They are your curriculum.
Failed
Mistake number 4,
Information, though.
the
Clear as
comparison
day.
economy.
Circle it. Arrow
Let me
forward.
tell you about the
Next
worst
step,
year
adjust
of
the
my
catalyst
professional
ratio.
life.
Every
I was 26. A friend just promoted to director. Another published her first book. Someone from university was featured everywhere. And I was in my apartment, working a tolerable job, side project stalled for 18 months, in a state of constant low-grade demoralization. Not because my life was bad, because I'd made the catastrophic mistake of measuring my progress against everyone else's highlight reels. A rigged game you can never win. The shift that saved me, I replaced the external scoreboard with an internal one. Every week I asked myself one question: what did I get better at this week than I was last week? Progress measured against yourself. The moment you stop watching their scoreboard and start playing your own game, you start actually enjoying the process. Mistake number 5, urgency addiction. For about 2 years in my late 20s, I was extraordinarily busy, packed calendar, multiple projects, always responding to something. I wore the busyness like a badge of honor, and in those 2 years, I made virtually zero meaningful progress on the things that actually mattered. I was addicted to urgency. Responding to urgent tasks give an immediate, measurable hit of accomplishment. Your brain loves it. Important things rarely do. Writing the book gives no feedback in months.
James,
Building the
you still there?
relationship delivers slow,
I'm here.
diffuse returns. So the
15
brain,
years climbing the
optimized
ladder and
for
I
quick
think it's
rewards,
wrong
chooses urgency
Then maybe it's
every
time to
time.
climb
What changed everything, I began protecting a non-negotiable 2-hour block every single morning, before email, before messages, reserved exclusively for my most important non-urgent work. Those 2 hours are without question the most valuable time in my entire day. Stop being busy, start being important. They are not the same thing. The integration. Let me bring this back to where we started. I made 4 of these before I turned 30. I'm sharing them not to impress you, but because I wasted real, non-refundable years. Not because I was lazy or unintelligent, because these mental patterns were running quietly in the background, working against me while I thought I was working for myself. The preparation trap, identity foreclosure, telescoping failure, the comparison economy, urgency addiction. 5 mistakes, all quiet, all common, all completely reversible. Here's what I want you to take away. Potential isn't something you have or don't have. It's something you either access or you don't. The barriers are almost never external. They're these invisible architectures of thought we build, maintain, and defend, usually without knowing we're doing it. The good news is, what you built, you can rebuild. The patterns you learned, you can unlearn. The stories you wrote, you can rewrite. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need the right moment. You just need to see the pattern clearly enough to stop defending it.